Okay, so Rebbe Akiva, we're looking for the source. Rebbe Akiva Omer Ein Tzarich. How do you know that you burn on the 14th and not the 15th? You don't need a lot because it says Ach biyom harishon tashbisu seor mi basechem. So on the first day you have to remove tashbisu. You remove the chametz from your house, and it says so. What's this Yom Rishon? It's Pashtus again. It's the first day of Yom Tov, Yom Rishon. That's when you do a tashbisu. That's when you do the bir chametz on the first day of Chag. But it's written Kol malacha lo tasu. Lo yaseh. I think there's a different, lo yaseh. That's what the pasuk says. So therefore, now Rebbe Akiva says, umatzinu lahavara shahaya av malacha. So we see that burning is an av malacha. Therefore, you can't do it on the first day. This Yom Rishon can't be the first day of Chag, because tashbisu means to burn it. Matzin lahavara. You have to have the havara for tashbisu, according to Rebbe Akiva, and burning it is an av malacha. Okay, so therefore, there's ach biyom harishon. That Yom Rishon is the previous day. It's the 14th and not the 15th. So that's Rebbe Akiva's raya. Rav at the end as a whole thing. We see that that the havara is a malacha on Yom Tov. We see that there's no, and Rebbe Akiva doesn't say matoch. It's an interesting. It's we'll do that. But anyway, Toys is here. So when you burn it, it's made into coals. So when you make it into coals, hanahu mutter. So you have the chametz. Chametz is aser, right? That's why you do the tashbisu, especially according to Toysvis, because Toysvis does the tashbisu after chatzos. So you have this Isser B'Hana of the Chametz, and even though after you burn it and then it becomes into coals, then the Hana is mutter, you're allowed to get Hana from it. So Chametz is this thing that where it starts off as Isser. It starts off as a davar that's Asr B'Hana. Then after you burn it, it's Asr B'Hana, and then it's coals, it's lost its Chametzness, and now it's called its mutter. Because how do you see it's mutter in the Perikol Shah, Agavi Arla, Bishla, Agavi Gechalim, Divir Kol Hapas mutter. So if you make pas from Gechalim, from fruits that are Arla, that's called mutter. Even though Orla is Asr B'Hana. So you make gechalim out of orla, which is also bahana, it's mutter. So also chametz is mutter bahana. So therefore, we see from this Tosfos that you're allowed. He has a different reason why this is all a problem, but the gecheles itself is mutter bahana. But how can you burn it on after chutzos? How can you burn it in order to turn it into gechalim? Because it's asr bahana. Therefore, you can't turn it into gechalim. But therefore, you see in this Tosfos that even though you have something that's asr bahana, when you turn it into something that's mutter bahana, therefore it's mutter. So therefore you can take oranges that are orla and squeeze them for juice, because the juice of orla is mutter and it's only the oranges themselves. Even though you're doing something that's asr, you're like turning it into heter. You have the oil from the chanukia. The oil from the chanukia is asr bahana. That's the first 30 minutes. So if you put a little bit of oil in and whatever, the light goes out, that oil is asr bahana. If somebody puts it back into the oil bottle, now you're allowed lechatchila to start putting oil in there, because even though it's asr bahana, you're getting into it and making it into something that's mutter bahana is mutter. So you get that out of this Tosfos. A lot of stuff comes out of there. So the top of the page. So
does it matter? Hold on. Does it matter at all? Like, there are some oranges that are specifically for juice, right? If the primary
no, it's just orla. No, it's just the orla. The orla orange is asr, and there's a reboy that the food is asr and the juice is mutter. It's not like a bracha. It's to do with the gilei. It's to do with the gilei in the cross. It's just that the fruit is the fruit, the orla. You grew the orange, and then the.
So the juice is just it's an after thing, and so therefore that's why it's mutter bahana.
No, because there's a reboy that's only the ochel. It's the juice that's mutter. It's a special possibility. Yeah. So Rava says, Shema Mina made a Rebbe Akiva telas. We learned three things. Shema Mina ein bir chometz eila sreifa. So again, we just learned Rebbe Akiva's limud. So if there has to be sreifa, because if there was another way to do biur, let's say I could just throw it. I could throw it to the sea, or I could give it to my animals and my cat can eat it. So there, I can do that on Yom Tov. And therefore, where does Rebbe Akiva get his limud? Therefore, he has to hold the chametz has to be burnt. Shema mina havara lechalek yoytze, because there is a shita. See the top Tosfos here. There is a shita that it's a lav. Yeah, there's also an interesting Tosfos here. it says don't burn eish on Shabbos. So that either means that it's a lav on Shabbos, or lachalek means that each of the 39s, if you do 39 malachas in one shoygeg on Shabbos, you bring 39 chatos. That's ach lechalek, that if it divides them all up. That I would think if I did all 39 in one go, I'd bring one chatos. Chalek means I do all 39, that you bring a separate chatos for each. So here, that's how he's learning. Otherwise, the Tosfos here says, Lav Yotze, Lo Haya Asr B'Yomtov, given to Ein Shem Malacha Aleya. Because we learn the Isser from Shabbos to Yomtov of only the 39 Malachas. The 39 Malachas are Asr on Yomtov from Shabbos, but any Lav on Shabbos we don't learn over to Yomtov. We need a separate limit for it. So we only learn the 39 Malachas. We don't learn Lavim from Shabbos, only the 39 Malachas. And here, Shemamina lo amrinin hoel v'hutra haber letzorach hutra nami shalo letzorach. So this is matoch. We did matoch last time in Ksuvus. Again, mitoch. It has to be letzorach hayom. So Rabbi Akiva holds we don't say matoch because Rabbi Akiva is holding you can't burn the chametz. You can burn. I.e. set fire to your chicken and you can cook things on Yontiv. So since you're cooking on Yontiv, therefore let's also cook the chametz, so you can do it on Yontiv. Elamai, Rabbi Kiva holds that there's no such thing as metoch, and we don't say huel v'hutra havera letzoyrach hayom hutra name shelo letzoyrach hayom. Okay. Now the problem with this is that we paskin al pi halacha that we say metoch, and therefore since we say metoch, therefore we should be able to burn chametz on Yontiv. That's what comes out of here, that we should be able to burn chametz yontif, because we say matoch. Since we say matoch, even though we have the burning, we can hold by the burning, and we can hold that it's an avera on yontif, but we hold the matoch, and therefore, since you're burning, you can set the fire for cooking. Therefore, you can burn your chametz as well. And Tais is lomachim mitoch shari, because if we say mitoch shari, but we do say halachically we do say matoch. It's just Rabbi Kiva who doesn't say matoch. Afakav dein sorach hayom katzat. Hacha masha berahar hayitzorach. So Tosfos here calls it a tzorach ketzas. It's you need again. It has to be tzorach hayom. So again, we had the whole thing. If you bring your keys, if you go to shul for mincha on first day into second day yontiv, and then you can't bring your keys home. You can't bring your keys to shul because you're bringing them for the way home, but on the way home is the next day. So it's not tzorach hayom. You're carrying your keys to mincha is sorech the next day, second day yontiv, because you're only going to open your door on second day yontiv. So you're not allowed to carry your keys on first day yontiv because of the second day. We went through this last time. So that's sorech hayom. So even though you need sorech hayom kitzat, hachama shemaver hayitzorech. So that's called when you're burning the chametz. It's called it's tzorech. So here we have a big problem because we're saying that taka it's mutter. Tosfos says according to our halacha that we hold the matoch, therefore it's mutter because it's called tzorech hayom. And we'll see later that basically we don't burn. If you find chametz on Pesach, you burn the chametz. However, if you find it on Yontiv, you don't burn it till the next day. But according to this Tosfos, basically he says that you do burn it the next day. So Shulchan Aruch. Hamoitzi chametz bebato im hu b'chol hamoed yitzenu v'biner miyad. Yeah, in the chol hamoed during Pesach, you just burn it miyad. Okay. The imhu yomtov yakafe alav kli adalayla va'az yervenu. Right. So therefore, if it's on yomtov, you don't burn it on yomtov. Again, our Tosfos is saying you burn it on yomtov. So comes the Magen Avram. So beyontiv about it's a longer one here. So we say ma tiltil the Rabban. So he goes through the. Ubetoisis perakama to kasoivis lo mashmakein. This whole thing, it's not mashmakein according to that toisis, which you just say maram luvlin kenetam afol gav the kaimulam kli nitel letzorach davar she'enin nitel hainu davar sheish toiris kli alav aval eitzim ve'eish she'ein toiris kli alei and ein noitlin. So you can't bring the firewood, the faggots. You can't bring them in order to make the fire. So therefore, it's not a chametz al kanashonai. But there, if you're making a fire anyway, you already have the fire going. So you can't make a specific fire for the chametz because the wood to make the fire for the chametz is muksa. But if you already have a fire for something that's mutter, so therefore you have the fire for the chametz anyway. Pesachim mashma the motor the story for Kevin the Yesh mitzvah besroifus. So Taisus is holding. Well, it's a mitzvah to burn it. Again, it's mikri tzorach hayom. That's what Taisus is saying. That it's a you burn the chametz. It's called tzorach hayom. That's the mitzvah of burning it. Therefore, it's also even the wood would be not muktzvah. This is all according to the Havamin in the Gemara. The ach biyom arishin taspisu hayinu biyomtov. So this is all going because what Rabbi Akiva is saying that the Yom Rishon is on the 15th, and he's saying no, it's on the 14th. Aval lemaskana Yom Rishon hayinu me'erev Yom Tov imkein asur l'srofo b'Yom Tov ayim b'tshuvas harashba. So we're saying that in the Gemara, the whole din of Rabbi Akiva is that ach biyom rishon tashpisu. This is all saying that what does Yom Rishon mean? Yom Rishon, we think in the Havamina means the 15th. You can burn it, but since Yom Rishon isn't on the 15th, it's on the 14th. Therefore, there is no tzorach hayom on the 15th. It's only on the 14th because you have to do the beer before Yom Tov, and therefore on Yom Tov you don't get that heter, and therefore you can't burn the Pesach. You can't burn the chametz on Pesach. Yeah, there's a slew of nafkaminas of chametz on the 14th, the chametz on the 15th. Do you learn, for example, is the burning of the chametz on the 14th the din in the chametz itself, or the din of tashbisu? So if tashbisu is a separate mitzvah to the chametz, so therefore, for example, if you have a mafkid, it's not in your rishus. Are you allowed to take it on the 14th as long as you get rid of it before the night? So it's not in your shit. We're going to get into Balyor and Balamata. Basically, there's a maklokas rishonim as to how you see the chametz on the 14th after chutzos. Is it din chametz or din in tashbisu? And therefore, if you can get out of the tashbisu, it still doesn't have the chametz. Or in takanoa, this is chametz. The isra of chametz has already begun. So this toisvis only works if chametz, if this only works for chametz on the 14th, but chametz on the 15th, then you can't burn it on Yom Tov because it already has a different din. So Tano Rabbanan. So Shevis Yamim or Lo Yimatzeh B'Pesachim. So again, we have Lo Yimatzeh won't be found in your house. Matam Alomer v'Halokavar Nemar Lo Yirah Lecha Seor v'Lo Yirah Lecha Chametz. So these are flipped. It's lo yireh chametz, lo yireh soor. So again, soor and chametz is really the same thing for all intents and purposes. Now, in the where are the pesukim here? We can have a look at the pasuk here. So sheva shem is soor lo yimatzeh b'Pesachim. So where it says lo yimatzeh, that's talking about your house. Okay, because anyone who eats it, he'll get kare. So the rest of the pasuk isn't really for us. Matzos you will eat the 7 days, and it will not be seen lecha. Right, so here it doesn't say lacha anywhere. Yeah, lo yimatzeh b'Pesachim doesn't say lacha anywhere. Here it says lacha, and it doesn't say bias. So according to this pasuk, you just can't have it at all. If it's yours, it's no good. But if it's here, if it's in your house, even if it's not yours, it's no good. That's basically what the two pesukim are saying. Is that clear? That if it says your house, then even if it's somebody else's, you can't have it. According to this, if it's yours, then you can't have it. If it's not yours, then you can have it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then it says, B'chol givulecha. B'chol givulecha will be even outside your house. So here you can't have it in your house, but you can have it in your shed. Or you have a little shed in your back garden. Again, what exactly does house mean? I mean, you can have my shed's included in my house. Whatever, but there's something that's outside of your house. You can have it in a cave somewhere, So there's different things in the different pesukim. So when you're now here in any of your gavul, it can't be like anywhere. So the chametz b'chol givulecha, because it says lo yireh lecha, or since it says you don't have yisur shalcha, you're not allowed to have it. So again, this is Shemos Yud Gimel Zayin. So this is the second pasuk, and the first pasuk is Yud Bet Yud Tes. So lecha, so once it's yours, shalcha iyataroeh, you can't see yours. Aval ataroeh shalacherem, you're allowed to see other people's. V'shel gavoa. Now you have two things here: shalacherem v'shel gavoa. Gavoa will be kodesh. If you makdish a bowl of whiskey or makdish a loaf of bread. Yachol yamtim yikabel pekadonos min anochri. You think that you can hide your own chametz because you won't see it, and you can get a nifkad. A goy can mafked his stuff, so you have a pikadon, a mafked is a deposit from a goy. Tamad loimer lo yimatzeh. You won't find it, so it can't be found. So again, here, even if it's hidden, right, it could be found. You know where it is. You put it in the cupboard. You put it under the floorboards, so you know where it is. Like in that what's that? That Quentin Tarantino movie where they were hiding the Jews under the floorboards. So you can just like stick your chametz under there, and then it's not in your house. Or as Rav Mandel was saying that there was someone had an interview and they put the television in their car. So when they went to the interview for the school, they said, "Do you have a TV in your house?" And they said, "No, we don't have a TV in our house." So you can get around all that with the lacha or whatever. But I'll hide it. But lo yimatzeh, it won't be found. So since it won't be found, so then even if you hide it or it's a pikadon, then it won't. It's aser. It's only ela benochri. It's a goy shalok kivusho. So that he's not under your rishos. You didn't koivish him. So here you have like a ger toishav. A ger toishav will basically makabels all your mitzvahs. He comes lives in Israel and he abides. The dude abides by all your rules. So this is a guy who doesn't abide by your rules. He doesn't live in your chotzer. That's what I know. And a nachri that he's a ger toishav and he is living with you in your chotzer. How do I know that it's aser? In your house. So ein liela in your house in the bor sichen uba maris menayin. So again, your house. So your bor is not your house. The ditches and your caves. How do I know? B'chol givulecha. Givulecha is outside your house. So now a dayin ani omer basim over mishom bal yiroeh bal yimatzeh. So in the houses I'm over bal yiroeh bal yimatzeh and ubal yimtom. I can't hide it there in my house. I can't be a nifkad. I can't makabel something from someone else in my house from the goy. In the gevulin shalcha iyataroi and outside the house, but in the borders, it's yours. You can't see, but you can see of other people's and of gavoa, which is kodesh. How minayin liten is omer shel zeh bezeh v'shel bezeh that both that all the isrim in the house is in the gavul and all this in the gavul is in the house. So there's a gezerah shalva that crosses over all the halachas. So whatever's bal yiroeh is bal matzeh. Whatever's bal matzeh is bal yiroeh. So again, going back to the pasuk, everything that's so lacha is aser, and so too is bias is aser. So basically everything is aser. So it can't be found and it can't be seen. Is the pasuk because it's the gezerah shalva. So nemar shor b'paschim shor lo yimatzeh b'paschim v'nemar shor b'gavulin lo yiroeh lachas or ma shor ha'omer b'batim oiver misham bal yiroeh bal matzeh ubal yitum bal yikabel b'gadonos men anachri avshe or ha'omer b'gavulin oiver misham bal yiroeh bal matzeh bal yitum ubal yikabel b'gadonos men anachri. Umashur, so again, this is talking at the Gezerah Shavamasa or Ha'omer Begavulin Shalcha Iyatal Roya, Avalatar Roya Shalacherim Vishal Gavua, Afshur Ha'omer Bevatim Shalcha Iyatal Roya, Avalatar Roya Shalacherim Vishal Gavua. So basically, up to this point, everything is aser. Balira Balimasa, you can't have it, you can't own it. So Amar Mar, Ainli Yele Benochri Shalok Yivshu Ve'ein Shurim Imcha B'chotzer. So I would know that. So I already know it's aser. So this Nachri, which I have no rishus over, and he doesn't live with me, I know that his chametz is aser. Nachri, that is he's under my control and he lives with me in the chotzer. How do I know that his chametz is aser? So now kafe laya means it's pointing the wrong way, which basically means that if you have a goy who lives with you or a goy who doesn't live with you, whose chametz is more likely to be yours? So the goy who lives with you in the chotzer and the goy who makabels your mitzvahs, he's more likely to be just like your chametz is aser, so to his chametz is aser. So therefore, it's pointing the wrong way to say that my chametz is aser, and also a goy who has nothing to do with me and I'm fighting with all the time. His chametz is also aser, but a goy who we're friends with, how do I know his chametz is aser to me? It doesn't make sense because it goes the other way. That the goy who I'm friendly with is more likely his chametz is like mine, but the goy I have nothing to do with, it's not like his chametz is like mine. So Amar Abaye ipuch. So again, Abaye, when you have these, Abaye says, yeah, flip them. And Rav is like le'olam lo loti, but he says no, we're going to makayim the girsa, the aresha kai, and then we're talking about shalcha'i et haroya, aval et haroya shalacherim. V'shel gavoa. So it's yours. So you are allowed. So it's what's aser. Shalcha'i et haroya. So it's also yours is roya, but you can see shalacherim v'shel gavoa. So what are you mutter? It's mutter to see shalagoy and it's mutter shal of hektish. So again, now this is when it starts to get like what's going on. Again, halach is always going to be like Rava. So you're allowed to have goy. You're allowed to have chametz of a goy on Pesach. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? We'll get into. You're also allowed to have chametz. So ainly el benochri shelo kivshosu. So it's more mistaver that the chametz of a goy I don't know is mutter for me to keep because it's not like my chametz. How do I know this mutter to have his chametz? Because I'd say it's like my chametz and it's also. So therefore we have this lo yimotzeh to tell me that it's mutter to have his chametz. And it says, Hai Tana mehadera ahetera v'nisav la kroli surah. He's looking to matir the chametz of a goy who lives with you. And he uses the pasuk lo yimotzeh in order to find a heter. That doesn't make any sense. So it says, yeah, mishum shenemar lacha lacha. So we have trei zimni. It says lacha 2 times. It's a riboy. We have the Rashi goes through it here. You have there's the drasha b'shaor lacha lacha trei zimni loira lacha seor b'chogiv lacha shevis yamim. Look at the loira lacha chametz. It's so it goes in. It's im eno inyan lahai lacha givulecha gaverecha. So im eno inyan. If you put it over here, you can look through this Rashi for the drasha. But b'kitzer we have a heter to hold on to the chametz of a goy. So now that leads us into what we want to look at. Amar mar yachol yamtim mikabel pekadonos min anachrim. You would think that you can makabel a pikadon from a goy tamad lomer lo yimatzeh. Okay, so you can't makabel a pikaton from a goy, right? Ha'amar reisha shachai etaroyev al etaroyev shalacherim v'shel gavoa, right? So it's a kasha. So what's going on here? Can we makabel? Right? I don't have chametz in my house over Pesach, so therefore I believe that this. I would think that you can have a pikaton from a goy. Tamad loimer lo yimatzeh. Oh, you see, you can't have chametz in your house. Just forget about it. And then comes. Yours you can have it, but no, you can have shalacherim. You can have the chametz of a cherim. So what's going on? I mean, all of a sudden I can have chametz of a cherim? Lo kasha ha de kabel aleya achrayas ha de lo kabel aleya achrayas. Okay, so here we have our first rule. When are you allowed to keep chametz on Pesach? When you makabel achrayas, when you don't makabel achrayas. When you do makabel achrayas, therefore it is aser. And when you don't makabel achrayas, it's mutter. Okay, so that's rule number 1. So kiha da'amar lahu rava lebnei mechuza. I got this one. Bi'iru cham. Go get rid of the chametz of the bnei chila mi basaychu. So get rid of the chametz that you have in your house that's belonging to the army. So what would happen is that the king's army would store their chametz in everyone's house, and they would just come into your house, and you would have to make it for them. It's their chametz, but you'd have to make it for them. So he's saying, get it out of there, get it out of your house. Kaven de'ilu mignav, if it was stolen from you, ve'ilu mistaven, if it was aveda b'rishaychu kai, it's in your rishus, u'biyusu l'shlume, and you would have to pay them. Therefore, it's like yours. V'aser. Okay, so we have this case of Rava saying that you have to get rid of all the chametz. Now, Pashtus is that you burn all the chametz and then you have to pay the soldiers back for the chametz that you destroyed. It's not like you just destroy the chametz and then that's it, you're done. You got to pay them for it because maybe that's also the reason why Rava has to tell everyone to do it. But because otherwise you have to pay for it. But he's going into, because if it was stolen and if it was lost, aveda v'ganeva, you'd have to pay for it. You'd have to pay for it. Aveda v'ganeva, you have to pay for it. So now we have the Rosh Psachim. It's a Siman Dalet. So yesh omrim davka shomer sacher. So we actually have a look at this. This is the yesh omrim, the Rambam. The Rambam goy shehikvid chamtzko etzel Yisrael im kabbalah alav Yisrael achrayis. Right, she'im ovid or nignav yishalem lo damav hareze chayev le be'oro. Now, ovid v'geneva pays. What does that sound like? Who pays for aveda and geneva? A shomer sachar. A shomer sachar pays. What's the difference between a shomer sachar and a shomer chinam? A shomer sachar pays for geneva and aveda, and a shomer chinam doesn't. So a shomer sachar pays is chayiv to lever whoever kabbalah level Christ nasa kishalo, since he has to pay for it. It's like his. If no kabbalah level Christ mutter lekaimo, if he doesn't have a Christ, if it's stolen or if it's or if he loses it, then it's mutter to keep it because he's paltered from pain. Umutter la ochel mimenu achar Pesach shebereshus goyhu, and he can eat from it after Pesach because it's not also that's not called chametz alavis a Pesach because he was a shomer chinam on it. And therefore, he doesn't. That's not called kabbalah achrayas. So now the Gemara says that you're makabel achrayas on it. So we're now going to look at what does it mean to makabel achrayas. So yesh omrim it's a Rambam davka shomer sacher the chayiv b'gnei veda vel shomer chinam lo. Okay, so this is Gedr number 1, the Rambam. Okay, if you're a shomer sacher, then you can't have the chametz, and if you're shomer chinam, you can. So question. You're living in Chutz La'aretz, or you specifically, you live in Eretz Yisrael, but you specifically went to Chutz La'aretz for Pesach because you wanted to go to a nice hotel, but you can't be in a hotel. You're in some retirement village in Florida, and there's a knock on your door, and it's a UPS guy or Walmart deliveries or Ralph's or whatever the hell they have out there, and he says, "I have a delivery for your neighbor." $300 worth of stuff, but he's not in. Can you mind this for him until he gets back? It says, I don't know, he's getting back from work at 6. So now it's 2 p.m. You're doing nothing because it's Chol Hamoed and it's also to work. So you're sitting around, can you hold it from 6 o'clock? Now $300 worth of goy shopping, Mustami, you'll have tons of chametz in there. You'll have your brown flakes and you'll have your loaves of bread, spaghetti, etc., etc. Can you hold on to that delivery on Pesach?
Are you a shomer chinam?
Well, you tell me. Right. So again, this is only according to the Rambam, but everything here will have a maklokas. But the Rambam. So when the Rambam says shomer sacher, so seemingly now the shomer sacher has to be paid. The shomer sacher, he gets paid. The reason that he's chayev for geneva is because he's paid for it. So if the guy tells you to just do me a favor and hold it, then you're not getting paid for it, and seemingly you don't have to pay it. Now, is your goy gonna go crazy if I had your shopping here, but I don't know where it is now. I lost it. The dog attacked it. Maybe that's Peshia. Again, you're always chayav for Peshia. But if it's Oines, Geneva, and Aveda, then the Shomer Chinam is Potter. So, Pashas, your Potter. Again, we will get into a further development of the case. But, I don't know. What do you do if you go to your neighbor and he says, yeah, I says, yeah, UPS said my package was here, and he says, yeah, it was. It got stolen or got lost. What are you going to do? Are you going to sue the guy? I don't know. It's seemingly you tough. So, but it's
not limited to shomer sacher though, because you say in the case of the onus with the malchus coming,
no, but everyone's chayav for onus. So we'll see. So v'taikinen milishina. So the Rambam is daik from the lashon. If it was stolen or lost. Kasavri. So Tosfos also says this. So since Rava Davka says, why do you have to get rid of it? Because if it was stolen or if it was lost, so therefore it would be you'd have to pay for it. So that's why you have to do it. So therefore it's only in the cases where it's lost and stolen. That seems to be a good raya from the Gemara. Ubahag Kasav. Now the Bahag is going to be cholek, and the Rosh is going to posken like the Bahag.
Clear. That's a good raya from the Gemara that he's more like a shomer
that only shomer sacher is chayev, Because Rava says only if, because de'ilu. Why do you have to get rid of your house? Because if it was lost or stolen, therefore you'd have to pay for it. You need to pay for it. So it's mashma from the Gemara that it's only shomer sacher skavu bahakativ defilu shomer chinam nami. And if it's stolen or maybe the Peshia Kalmar, he's talking about Peshia. Shomer Chinam is always chayiv for Peshia. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't learn Genevan and Nevada as Peshia Kalmar. I mean, that's not mashma noshim. But this is the again lechatchila. Lechatchila again. We both can like the Bahag and the Rosh. That if you're shomer chinim, so therefore, if the guy knocks on your door lechatchila, don't take it, because you can't have it in your house, even if you're shomer chinim, because you're a shomer for sure. You're a shomer on it. Again, you have the mafkid and the nifkad. You're the nifkad. You are taking care of someone else's stuff. So there, if you are a shomer chinam, and there you have no chiyav on it, so therefore there the Rambam says it's mutter. So b'di'eved for chametz lavas a Pesach. You can be soymech on the Rambam and it's not aser, but lechatchila don't take it in. Now the second point then here comes in the next Rambam. So the Rambam says now, right, goy anos. So goy anos is like a mafioso guy, and you better do what he says, right? No one cares about contracts when you're dealing with these people. Shehekbid chamsa esel Yisrael, and he gave his comments to a Jew. Im Yodea HaYisrael, the Jew knows that if he lost it or it was stolen, he'd be mechayiv to pay him. Right, so you got some heavy going down, and he knows, if you lose this, you have to pay anyway, even though the contract says you don't have to pay him. He's going to force him, and he's going to get the money out of him to pay, even though he never makabel achrais. There he's chayiv to get rid of it. Right, sheharei nechshav ke'ilu hu shelo, mepnei shemachayivu ha'oines ba'achraiso. So here we have a case where a guy gives you something and he says, can you watch over this? And you're like, I'm not going to take a chrayas on it. He's like, fine, don't take a chrayas on it. If it gets lost, you're okay. And then it gets lost, you're not okay. Like on all those, mafia movies or whatever it is, you have the heavy and that's not how the story goes. They lose something, they got to get it back, otherwise they're going to kill him. So that's called yours. Because even though you taka never makabel the chrayas, lemaisa at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay him anyway. So here,
Johnny, does this have implications?
Yes, it has implications. Yes.
Obviously. So in America, you sell your chametz, right?
Well, but there's a different issue with selling your. Okay. Was your chametz even sold? Okay. Because if you flip with the Rambam saying, okay, how do you sell your chametz?
What do you mean?
Lemaisa, how do you sell your chametz? What do? You go to some website. You go to your rabbi. You go to the rabbi. So your rabbi has 100. Your rabbi has 100 people. Maybe there's 1,000 people. Maybe it's got 10,000. Maybe your rabbi, especially where you are, because there's no Jew or fromness in 3,000 miles. Maybe he sends it to New York, and then your rabbi in New York gets together and he sells millions of dollars of chametz to this goy, and the goy puts down, let's say he sells them $5 million of chametz. And again, Jews own businesses that have chametz, whether it's whiskey, whether it's spaghetti, whether it's bread. I mean, Angel, I don't know what Angel will do, but Angel have tons of bread. I mean, you can't keep bread 8 days and start selling it, but I'm sure there's some type of bread product that lasts longer than a week. Whatever, you have places that have tons of chametz, and they taka selling millions of dollars worth. And then, so the goy will put down a down payment. Let's say it's even 20 grand or whatever it is, right? Now, if let's say all the chas v'chalila, all the chametz gets burnt down, okay? Now the goy has to pay, right? It's his chametz. He has to pay millions of dollars now for this chametz that he already bought. Now, if the goy doesn't pay that, so then it's the flip of this Rambam that it's like he never owned it in the first place. So therefore, how can you sell the chametz in the first place? So this Rambam causes issues for a sale, because it's really you take a chrayas, even though you sold it to a goy, it's still in your rishus, it's still your achrayas, because if it gets burnt, he's not going to pay you for it. Now in here, so the Ravid here argues with him. and he says, even if he's an honest, it's not. In Pesach, how could you find that Rav Nachman said to them, go and bring the chametz of the Bnei Chila? They've already burnt them all, because Rava told them to go burn them all. And how can Rav Nachman then go say, oh yeah, go get the chametz? I mean, this Gemara is later on. Ilavadai lo haya honest b'dav. There's nothing to do with oines, and they're able to give it back to them in a Shmir Satzman when they want to in Erev Pesach. They give it back to them. So Bekitzer, the Ravid argues with him on this point. So this is the second maklokas. If you have an onus, is that called a chrayas or not? Because again, all we have in the Gemara is that a chrayas is chayiv, and the non achrayas is potter. So we have a third maklokas. Yesh min hagoyonim. So we have the goyonim against Rabbeinu Yonah. Shamru Yisrael shehefked chemsa etzel nachri. Okay, so get this clear. We have a Jew, and he's the mafkid. Yisrael shehefked. So the Jew is mafkid his chametz by a goy. So the Jew owns a goy, and he just gives it to a goy. The Jew owns the chametz. He just gives the chametz to the goy and says, "Here, take care of it." So so the maf, yeah. Or Etzel Yisrael Chaver. He can even give it to another Jew. The kabel hanafked a lot of cries. Once the nafkid kabels a cries and hanifked chayav bebioro v'lo hamafkid, even though it's his. Kaven she'enu b'reshuso. So says the Geonim l'chayr b'chedesh here, that once it's out of Yerushus, it's mutter, because the other guy makabel the cries on it. So obviously here you can see the big the big kula here. So you own it.
So you still own it.
You own it.
By someone else.
Yeah, and they have a chrayas on it. Now again, if nothing happens to it, again you own it, meaning that they'll pay you for it if it gets lost. That's called owning it. And then if nothing happens to it, they'll give it back to you. That's called out of Yerushus, no problem. And they bring a raya from the Mechilta. The Rabbeinu Yonah would say the La'olam b'Reshusa Mafkid hu. It's still called the Reshusa Mafkid. V'chayiv le'abura min atayr. The Raisa you still have to do beer on it. The goynev mebeita ish. It's the same drasha over there. What does it mean? Goynev mebeita ish. The velo it has to be. It's the house of a man, not the house of hektish, not just your house. And also it doesn't really refer to the mechilta that the already have the raya. So the way he learns the mechilta is even though the nifkad is kabbalah l'akrais, mikomakum ikar hamomen shel habaylim hu, v'kevan the hashilu hanafkid beito l'shmiras mamono karinu beito. So what's the mechilta is referring to? A nachri shehalva Yisrael al chamotzo. So here you have the money going the other way, and it's on the chametz. So it's like, so again, the chametz becomes a pikadon for the loan, so that you give the goy loans you $100, and you give him $100 worth of chametz. So really, he's already paid for it. So it's not yours in that respect because it's a pikadon for the loan. So it's not you just giving him a pikadon, but you're getting money, and then it's like a pikadon for the loan. So just like you've already paid the loan. So so Rabbeinu Yonah is that so the mafkid that only works if the mafkid's connected a loan. So really it's the nifkad's. So the nifkad's already paid for it anyway. It's because when he gave you the $100, he's getting the $100 worth of chometz. So therefore it's like he paid for it. It's not a real nifkad relationship. Now here the maklokes is you have the Berushuso, according to the Geonim, is who controls it. So whoever controls it, this is like Scarface. Only in America. First you get the sugar. First you get the cocaine, whatever he says. Then you get the money. You gotta control it, and then you get the power. So it's all about control. When you have the control, it's Berushuso. Whoever has the Reshus over the chometz, he controls the chometz. Whoever controls the chometz, he controls the Yisr. And then you have the shalo, whoever owns it. So then you have whoever owns it or whoever controls it. So Rabbeinu Yonah says whether you control it, whether you own it, either or, you are chayiv. Whereas the Geonim say once you control it, so then that's where the Isser is, and not about whether it's yours or not.